God bless you for coming over this morning, afternoon, or evening, wherever you are watching me from all over the world. We are looking at some of the greatest miracles that Jesus did or that happened around the life of Jesus that people speak less about. In the last series, we looked at how he had authority over life and death, for which he can give up his spirit, and we challenge us to go and search who did something like that anywhere, and the darkness being suspended for hours before light returned again. Today we are going to make progress, and I pray that as you join the meeting, the Lord will bless you. The Lord will amplify the personality of Christ and give you a reality that is not just a mere talk, that he is surely who he said he is. Now, but one of the things that caught my attention most is to see this figure. The Bible said that at that moment, what moment? The moment Jesus said, "Into your hands I commit my spirit. I give up my spirit to you, Father." The Bible says at that moment the curtain of the temple was torn. Now, if this was a vision, it would have been a different thing. Maybe somebody is seeing a vision, that the way Isaiah saw a vision of the angels singing and then the glory of God filled the temple. If it's a vision, it's a different thing. Now, but this was a living reality, that the instance he released his spirit to death or to the hand of the Father, at that instance the curtain, without the instrumentality of a human hand, without the instrumentality of a razor, of a scissors, nobody had any deliberate intention to go and cut that curtain of the temple so soon. It is something that will be an abomination if you ever tried. Now, but the Bible says when he released his spirit, the curtain tore from top to bottom and separated. You see it now. Now, what I'm looking at is not the revelational significance, which is giving us access to God, removing the veil that covers us from God and covers God from us. Now, but what I'm looking at is the event itself, that you just died. Like I said in the last series, I don't know which religious pioneer, I don't know which organizational pioneer, founder, who died and such miracles, such supernatural happenings was tied around their life, such that as he gave up his ghost, the curtain responded to that death instantly, and the curtain tore. No religious founder will you see with such outstanding supernatural event prior to their death, within their death, and then after they died. Now the Bible says the curtain tore. You don't know what that means. What it means is that this death had power such that it could tear that curtain in a way that anybody who comes there and see it will become so much amazed. What was God trying to do? All of this thing God is doing, even though it has spiritual significance, it is also to physically let people know that this person they are mocking, even though he died a death that look as it were shameful, we know that it was our death he died. He died as us and also died for us. But that's another issue on its own. Now, for us to see something like this, it means that God went ahead. The people who were looking at him, they saw the way he released his spirit. That is for them physically there. Now, those who were in the temple, who were not present in that day he was dying, those who were not present there, the miracle also went and spoke to them inside of the temple where they were probably worshiping, praying, those resting, meditating there. I believe that hour, somebody who is in the temple praying and suddenly see a holy curtain tearing from top to bottom. I bet you if you are the one, you may run away. You might just look for the next flight and run out of that temple. God was confirming it. This will make anybody who want to believe, who maybe they have discarded him to be the Messiah. There will be many scientists many observers who will come around to check, say, what is the possibility of this curtain tearing on its own? Could it be that it's old and worn out? Could it be that somebody was behind it? And all of those things will be foolishness to begin to think that a curtain that have been there for a very long time will just tear on its own like that. No, it was an evidence that God was showing to every man, both those in this death scene and those who were also in the temple, to make them see that this is who he claimed to be. This is the Son of God. This is the Messiah. This is the Christ. An ancient tradition that have been there for years and years and years. At his death, God, who gave them that law, who gave them those decrees to do it, he didn't abuse it necessarily. He only would bring in another system. He only wants to introduce, all in the Old Testament has been a shadow, but the reality, as the Bible says, is Christ. So God was trying to amplify the Son. When he was walking around doing all of this miracle, raising the dead, you see him walk upon the water. But when he walked upon the water, you know that it was before the disciples. So it is possible that if they come and say, we saw the Lord walk on water, those other people will say, we don't believe, we have not seen it. So God made him do things also publicly before people to believe him. So, but during his death, we saw in part 1, series 1, that it was before those that were in the scene of the death that darkness happened, that he gave up his spirit. Now, in the temple where people were, the curtain tore from top to bottom. And all of them will know that this is a supernatural work. This is not just a natural thing. And it's not just something that is coincidental, as people will talk. It was a deliberate work of God that was attached to the death to authenticate him as being the Messiah for mankind. So I want to also leave you with this evidence. This is the series 2, so that you will know, wherever you are watching me from and you are doubting if he's the Son of God, if he's the Messiah that have come for men, please, as you follow this series, you will check what you believe in, which of the founders of them match this record of the Messiah. It is very, very clear that he alone has all of these supernatural miracles attached to prior to his death, within the death, and then after he died, even in his resurrection. As the Spirit of God gives us grace, we are going to see it. I'm also speaking to a believer. I want to also strengthen your faith to know that you are not following the wrong person. One of the ways to believe a thing most of the time is evidence, even though you can trust by faith. But God didn't leave us without an evidence to authenticate that this indeed is the Son of God. May the Lord bless you as we see in the next series. Thank you.